Hello guys, how are you? Cryptes here. I think we have Simdal on the chat and also Boggy708. Hello guys, how are you? I hope my sound is good. This is gonna be a mini live here. I'm glad you're here in the chat. So we're gonna talk about our friend Keegan Klein. Why do I think he was in Delphi uh, on the 13th, the day of the murders of Abby and Libby? Fluffy Bunny is also here. How are you? I hope you're doing well. So I'm gonna play a short video here. It's gonna be like the introduction for this mini live. I'm gonna explain why do I think that Keegan Klein was at Delphi the day of the murders of Abby and Libby. And then the question is, what was he doing there? So no more protocol. Let's play the video here, and then we can discuss about that. I'm not gonna discover that the water is liquid here, but we there's a lot of discrepancies or a difference of opinion about Keegan Klein. Let's say 50-50. 50% of this community, they say he's not directly involved in the murders. The other 50 think the opposite. So I'm in the dark side of the moon, let's say. I think he was involved directly. And okay, no more protocol. So let's play this 2 minutes video, which is going to be the introduction for this live.
I'm not like them. I can pretend the sun is gone.
Again, I'm gonna put it from the beginning. The song is dumb because I think he's playing dumb. Since the beginning, and he's pretending to be like a stupid guy. To me, he's not stupid at all. But he's playing dumb with law enforcement, with the Delphi community, the YouTubers, the public opinion, and he's not stupid. To me, this guy is actually bright, and that's why I put that song in the video, "Dumb," from Nirvana, a cover, not to have a copyright here, copyright strike. So I'm gonna put it again, 2 minutes.
I'm not like them. I can pretend the sun is gone. I have a light. The day is done. I'm having fun. I think I'm dumb. Maybe just happy. Think I'm just happy. Think I'm just happy. Think I'm just happy. My heart is broke, but I have some glue. Help me inhale, mend it with you. We'll float around and hang out on clouds. Then we'll come down and have a hangover. Have a hangover. Have a hangover. Have a hangover. In the sun, fall asleep, wish away the soulless dream. Lesson learned, wish me luck, soothe the burn, wake me up. I'm not like them, I can pretend the sun is gone, but I have a light, the day is done, I'm having fun. Maybe just happy. Maybe just happy. Think think I'm just happy. Think I'm just happy. I think I'm dumb. 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 I think I'm dumb.
So we have 10,000, how can I say, things to think that Keegan Klein was involved in the murders, but there are three of them that, in my opinion, put him right there in Delphi on the 13th. And every of these three elements can be challenged. I understand that. But when you put the whole thing in the totality, we can say that he was there. So I was anticipating this kind of questions, Boggy. I was supposed to meet her. Does that prove that I was there? If we read it just like that, of course not, because he's not saying that he's going to meet her at the Monon High Bridge, and he's not saying that he's gonna meet her at the 13th. But come on, that's really something that is implicit in the context of the conversation. When the Libby German friend contacted Keegan, and he asked him, "Do you know what happened to Abby and Libby?" And his answer was, "Oh my God," so which is already weird. "Oh my God, I was supposed to meet them, but they didn't to meet her, but she didn't show up." So I understand your point. I was anticipating that question, but to me, it's clear that he was supposed to be there, and it's my opinion. I understand that you can disagree about that, but to me, he was supposed to be there. She was supposed to be there, and she didn't show up. So if she was supposed to be there and she didn't show up, that means, in my opinion, again, that Keegan Klein was there, or Anthony Schultz at least. But I think we're talking about Keegan Klein here. Outside of the grid, Cryptics is making a big wave in Delphi commentary. I'm here listening. Thank you for that. Simdal, he could have lured them into a trap for the perp. Yeah, I agree. I'm not saying he's the killer, which I don't discard at all. But yeah, I'm not saying he is the killer. But exactly, that's my point. He could have lured them into a trap for the perp, but I think he was actually there. Rebecca, so many people need to be looked at again. 100%. So the first point, or the first element important to me there was that was this statement. I was supposed to meet Libby, but she didn't show up. So let's continue with the next element. Again, to me, this means to me that he was there. And this is just one of the three elements, of the key elements there. I'm just choosing three of them. This is always, I'm anticipating your questions. I'm sure that you're going to say that it was something that the murder sheet just put out there. The statement about the red Jeep, I understand that. I'm just going to my thinking about this. In my opinion, even if we don't like, or a lot of people don't like the murder sheet, I think these people are responsible with the information they are putting there. They are at least confirming the information that the sources are providing to them, and at least they confirm that the sources are credible. When Keegan Klein allegedly said that he was waiting in the red jeep while someone else was committing the crime, and again, maybe he was not with someone else, maybe he was alone. What I think, we know that Keegan Klein is a liar. Mr. Bo Jangles. Hi there, sir. How are you today? Very good, thank you. I hope you're good too. So when he said allegedly again that he was waiting in the red jeep, to me there's a change of pattern in the in his lies. Usually he lies to put himself away from the crime, to get out of trouble. But this time he's putting himself like in the eye of the hurricane. So to me that's interesting. I think that there's a change of pattern. There's a different way to lie, if you want to tell that this is a lie. To me, this was true. And later we are going to talk about the Grissom Air Force Base and the sequence of events that were triggered after that event. So we have the first element here. He was supposed to be there. She was supposed to be there, but she didn't show up. So to me, he was there. Now we have the red jeep element. We know that we can't challenge every single element here individually, but then when we put everything together, I don't think we can do it, or we can, but I cannot, myself. Let's continue with this. The third element is the search of the Marathon gas station in Google. Remember that when he was interviewed by law enforcement, he said that I don't remember exactly. I don't remember if he said that he was never there in Delphi, or that he was just one time. But when we think about the places where Keegan was living before living in Peru, I think it was Young America. That's like 15 minutes. Delphi is 15 minutes from Young America. So if he was never there in Delphi, or if he was just one time, I really don't remember that. Why was he looking for the Marathon gas station address at Delphi on the 13th? To me, it's because he wanted to be there, or he was there. So, Bossy, I thought the red jeep story originally started with Noé saying to Murder Sheet, Keegan Klein said that to him. I don't know. I know that Noé was in the same cell or next to the Keegan Klein cell when he was like imprisoned, and Keegan was providing some information to Noé. So I don't know if Noé is the source of the murder sheet regarding the Jeep information. So I don't know. Boggy, he doesn't know where the gas station is, but he knows where the Delphi Bridge is. Yeah, I don't understand why was he looking for the Marathon gas station on the 13th if he was not willing to be there at that time. So again, I understand that you can challenge every single one of these elements individually. That when he said that he was supposed to meet Libby, he didn't say where and when. I understand that. I got it. That when he said that he was waiting in the red jeep, this is something we cannot confirm because it comes from the murder sheet and the search in the Marathon gas station. You can say that that was something just random, but when I do 1 + 2 + 3 in my mind, in my head, in my brain, he was there at the time. Now, give me that. How can I say? Let's say, just for the sake of the conversation, that my theory or my hypothesis is right, that he was actually there in Delphi on the 13th. So, why was he there? What do you think? If he was there, what was his intention? What was he doing there? So, one of the possibilities I'm thinking about is that he was communicating with Bridge Guy. I don't think today. I used to think that, but today I don't think that Keegan Klein is Bridge Guy. But when he was there on the 13th, and that red jeep, which we know they owned the clients, they owned a red jeep. I think he was communicating with Bridge Guy. Call it Richard Allen or someone else, likely Richard Allen. When Richard Allen was looking at the stocks on that bench, maybe he was not looking at that. Maybe he was communicating with Keegan Klein, and maybe he didn't know that Anthony Keegan Klein was Anthony Schultz. I think there was some type of transaction there. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Maybe they even meet physically at the Marathon gas station. One thing that is really weird, and Rebecca, you have a very good point here, is that the video from the gas station was lost. Something happened when I don't remember if it was the FBI, but the law enforcement agency manipulating that Marathon gas station video, they screwed it. The video was lost, so I think they were not able to extract the information that was captured by the camera on the 13th, and even the whole video was lost. So we lost that evidence that is key here to confirm if Keegan or Richard Allen were there, at least near to the Marathon gas station on the 13th. So, Simdal, scumbags like Klein are into compromising, blackmailing minors for his own use and others. Either you do what they want or they publish pics. I know he was a master of manipulation. He played dumb. He was, and I think everyone here is not everyone here, but a lot of people is convinced that he was just a stupid guy behind the cell phone and the computer, trying to obtain pictures from girls. But to me, he was in the dark web. He was a transactional guy. He was maybe the mastermind behind that pedophile ring, and I don't know. He's just playing dumb, and he convinced a lot of people, including law enforcement, that he was not a major actor in this case. Deja vu. Didn't Keegan Klein get his sentence reduced not too long ago? Actually, there was some news this week I think he lost his appeal for the sentence reduction. I have to come back to that, and that may indicate that his participation in this crime was more important than a lot of people think it was. Rebecca Ann. They need to get everyone who was there the 13, 14 and give them all a lie detectors. Start over. I agree, and especially when we know now that they lost a lot of recordings or interviews that were performed on those days. I agree. They have to put everyone there again, including. I know that the Odinist theory is not the most popular theory here, but they have to put Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder and all of them, these people that were involved at the beginning of the case, they have to be re-interviewed, in my opinion, because it's not acceptable that they lost just like that by accident the interviews on the first 48 hours of the investigation, which is, we know this is the most critical period of any investigation, right? We have Rescue All Dogs here. Cool to have you here. I'm glad you're here. And by the way, guys, I'm gonna put the link to, if some of you want to call and to talk about this, you're welcome to do it. So here we have the link. I lost my track. Bossy here. Cryptex, do you think Keegan and Richard Allen know each other? I think there was a pedophile ring in internet, that Dropbox. We used to hear about it. Maybe Richard Allen was part of that ring. That's just a possibility. If Richard Allen was actually a bridge guy, I think he was communicating with Keegan Klein on the 13th. So Rebecca, Patrick Westphal lost interviews. Oh, for sure, that's crazy. It's not acceptable. We can think about corruption or incompetence or both of them together, but I don't understand how can some people that we pay, we put our taxes there to pay well or at least decently, these people to do their job as they have to do it. They didn't conserve those interviews, at least on paper, or it's not acceptable. So I understand when people think about corruption, maybe it was just incompetence, but it's just unacceptable. You cannot lost the evidence, especially on the first 48 hours, just like by accident. So I'm not gonna buy that. Rescue All the Dogs. Somebody had one symbol. Maybe it was T. You're talking about the acronyms. I understand. I don't know, guys, if some of you want to call here or if you have any other question. This was just a mini live here again. You know that since the beginning I'm into the Klein angle strongly, and I was wrong at the time. I was thinking that Keegan Klein could have been done this alone, but we work with limited information, so that was a speculation I had at the time with that limited information. Now that we know more, that's my theory today. that he was there at Delphi, and he was in contact with Bridge Guy at the time of the murders. You know also that one of the things that I always say, and I think is just too coincidental, is the Grissom Air Force base interview with Keegan Kline. After that, there was like a chain of events. The Wabash search and the arrest of Richard Allen. One thing just right after the other one. So that for me it's clear that the clients are involved in this case. It's not just a coincidence. And again, when we were thinking about the way Keegan Kline is trying to make us think that he's stupid. Remember when we were talking about the transcripts, and there was like a paragraph stating that there were two persons or two people in the same house, logging in, logging out from the same Instagram or Snapchat account, and that was one of the elements to say that there were two people involved in this situation, mostly or likely the Kline and Keegan and his father. But remember, this guy was he was really smart, especially when we talk about technology. He was easily manipulating two cell phones, one in his right hand and one in the left hand, and talking to the same person from two different cell phones. That's not impossible. Go back to the Zodiac case and how the Zodiac was spelling words with wrong orthography. Even if he was a bright guy, he would never do this type of mistakes, but he did it on purpose. And I think it's not impossible that Keegan Kline was manipulating two phones at the same time. So he's trying to put Tony Kline under the bus in this case. And maybe Tony Kline was involved as well, but I don't discard that Keegan was the only one in that house playing a part in these murders. Simdal, Dropbox, VPN, encrypted messaging. It is so easy to hide with some rudimentary knowledge. Yeah, I agree. And we have also the ski mask incident that, in my opinion, triggered the whole investigation about the Klines that happened 1 week after the murders of the girls. And the thing was, one of the Libby German friends gave the address to Anthony Schutz, the address of her home. And when he came from school, he observed the guy with the ski mask in the window of her home. And because of that, law enforcement was able to trace that account, and that's how the clients were initially looked by law enforcement in this case. The Vegas trip, wow, it's a topic or a subject to talk like 3 days nonstop. Bossy, Keegan Kline said in the transcript interview he would be smart enough to use a VPN. I think he was smarter than he's trying to make us think. He's trying to make us think he's stupid, and he's not stupid. He's a transactional guy. He was surfing in the dark web, and I think he's a key element here in this murders. Hello, Mother of Dragons. How are you? Glad to have you here. Guys, if someone wants to call, are welcome. Boggy, the case was called, and ISP sent investigators to look through the evidence, and they came up with Richard Allen. Yeah, and how they came up with Richard Allen after the Grissom Air Force Base interview and the Wabash River search. So they came up with Richard Allen because of that connection with the clients, in my opinion. Not because he remembered by heart or by chance that Richard Allen was interviewed 5 or 6 years ago by one of the conservation officers. So to me, it's not. To me, the connection is clear, in my opinion. Again, but I understand your point, Boggy, and I'm not saying you're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's too coincidental. It's too coincidental. To me, the clients led to the Keegan, to the Richard Allen's arrest, in my opinion. Now we don't know what is the context of the confessions. To me, the element evidence or the key evidence against Richard Allen here is not even the bullet. Is actually the confessions, but we don't know what was the context. What did he say? If when he was confessing, he said that the girls were placed in this or this way, that they had these injuries here and here and here, and that there were some sticks on the girls, and that confession was recorded. I think he's done. He's done. The other thing I'm thinking about is that maybe Keegan Klein confessed as well, and he had a deal, and that's why Richard Allen is also in this situation right now. And maybe, I don't know. Let's see what's going to happen during the process. Maybe Richard Allen is going to talk about the clients. He's trying to distance himself from the clients because it's something that is not gonna play well for him here, in my opinion. So let's see. True crime, common sense. I think it's very possible they don't or didn't know each other personally. It seems possibly they only knew one another by internet, using names by way of the Dropbox. 100%, totally possible. And there were a lot of pedos in that Dropbox pedophile ring. When law enforcement was saying this is gonna be the biggest CSAM investigation in the history of Indiana, is because there were more than 2 or 3 people there. It's not only Richard Allen and the Klein and Elliot von Schaffner. There was a bunch of sick persons there. And yeah, maybe they didn't know each other personally, I agree, only by internet. Simdal. Richard not using Klein to mount a defense, which makes 0 sense to me. Exactly. Super weird. It's like the most obvious thing to use when you are being in this type of process. This is the most obvious suspect, the clients, and they prefer to go to the Odinist theory, which is gonna be more difficult to believe, like, let's say by a jury. But if you use the Klein angle, a jury can have like a reasonable doubt there. But he chose, or the defense, they chose not to talk anything about the clients. So I agree with you. That was really weird. Deja vu. Calling off the search. 24/7 surveillance should have been mandatory. 100%. True crime, common sense. Yes, there was a case in Alaska with that exact mechanism. Rebecca, I think that a Dropbox with all kinds of nasty stuff would bring down a lot of law enforcement, politicians, and others. That's why we haven't heard much about Dropbox. Listen, it's not crazy, you know. Sindal, they need the Odinist theory to explain the confessions. I agree. The easiest way to go out is the clients, but they prefer to go with the Odinist. So that's weird, in my opinion. And Simon's here. Hello, Simon. Simon was the first guest I had in my channel, and I'm gonna always remember you. Good to have you here, man. So Simon says, hi, Cryptex in chat. Thank you, man, for being here. I think Simon is in Scotia or England. I don't remember. Ireland. In British, anyway. True crime, common sense. He can't use them if they were actually involved with one another, because they immediately point the finger right back at him. Some reason he wouldn't dime them out, cut a deal by way of the clients. Yep. Sindal, we Simons have the best name. Yeah, guys, you're the Simons twins. Agree. So, guys, as I told you, that was like a mini live. I understand that you're not gonna agree with my points here, that every single element I thought about can be challenged, but in my opinion, when we see the three of them as a totality, that to me, that's an indication that Keegan Klein was there at Delphi on the 13th, and maybe the next video is gonna be about why was he there. We already threw 2 or 3 hypotheses here, but let's keep that for the next video. True crime, common sense. For him to identify the clients or any accomplices, he has to acknowledge his own knowledge of the crime. Yeah, and in that sense, we have to wait for the details of the confessions and for the context of them, because again, maybe when he confessed, he gave or he provided details about the crime scene. So if that was the case, if that was recorded, if that's just gonna prove that he was guilty in a big percentage, but we have to wait. Now, remember also that the vehicle or the car of Richard Allen was taken by law enforcement. We don't know anything about what happened with that car. That's something that is maybe only in the, I don't know if the defense has some details about that. I think they are allowed to have that kind of information, but we don't know anything about that. Did they find some DNA in that car, some fibers, some blood? We don't know what was found in that car. We're having discussions here with limited information, but there's a lot of stuff that is not out there, and let's see what's gonna be the information that is gonna be provided. True crime common sense. I give a lot for two answers. Did he really search the marathon in Delphi? And who was the masked man at the girl's house the week after the 13th? Why do you say that? Did he really search the marathon? Why do you think he didn't do it? Do you think it was Keegan Klein, Tony Klein, or someone else? I'm trying to understand your question, which is a good question. And who was the masked man? There's a lot of talking about Tony Klein being the possible man, the possible scheme, the potential ski man, based on the previous behavior in other towns like Young America and Mexico and Galveston. That it's a high possibility that the ski man guy was Tony Klein. I don't know if that was the type of answer you were waiting for. Linda's looking Miller. Maybe the clients were there to pick up a cash payment for supplying the Dropbox to the perp. That's possible. Again, there was some kind of transaction there, internet transaction, physical transaction. Sometimes when you deal with cash, it's easier because you're not gonna have any trace or any digital trace. So sometimes these perps they don't work only online. They prefer to do physical things by cash to not to have any digital traceability, let's say. And the weird thing is that the camera of the Marathon gas station is lost. The recording, I mean. Simdal. Yes, and the nature of the river search as well. Exactly. Do you think anyone? Sorry, here. Do you think anyone got paid for this crime? Keegan Klein, for sure. Keegan Klein got paid. He was organizing this situation, and for sure he was looking for money, even if he was not the killer, and even if he didn't know that a murder was happening. Yeah, he was. He got paid for this. Maybe there was just some kind of picture scenario there, and he didn't know that the girls were going to be killed. When he said that, "Oh my God, was happening in our world," what was our world? The pedophile ring world. So he was kind of surprised that a murder happened. He was not expecting that, but yeah, he in my opinion, he got paid for that by British guy maybe. True crime common sense. There has never been any mention of that search by law enforcement, only by murder sheet with someone else, Noe maybe, as the source. But the timeline is, you cannot fight the timeline. Let's say it was Noe, let's say it was murder sheet, let's say there's no murder sheet or there's no Noe or whatever. Just look at the timeline. Grissom Air Force Base, Wabash Search River, Richard Allen, after 6 years of cold case. I cannot fight that. The marathon search info is from the interview transcript. Agree? That's a good point. Deja vu, Vegas, great for laundering money, and there's a lot of psychos there with a lot of money. Maybe they were paying for that kind of material. remember that one of the searches in Google that was made by Keegan Klein was Sandy Hook dead bodies. It's sick. Nobody, nothing. 1717. Deny. So sorry. Deny so is all the real estate that swaps and around here. Simon. I think if Keegan Klein was using the dark web, he would also be using crypto, Monero and Bitcoin. The ticker Richard Allen was watching was likely Bitcoin. 13 was the day Bitcoin hit $1,000. They may be a Bitcoin payment. That's a good point. That's an interesting point there. But I think that he was communicating also with Keegan Klein. So guys, I'm just gonna stop here. See you next week. Please let me know in the comments what do you think about what we talked today. If you agree, if you disagree. This is not a toxic channel. You can come with your ideas, your hypotheses always, and we can discuss in a civil matter here. True crime. I'm not fighting the timeline at all. I also believe Keegan was involved. That marathon search in my mind would cement that belief. That's why I wish it could be verified. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. True crime, common sense. Okay, guys, thank you again. Next time, try to call. I want to call with you here in the chat, in the live. So thank you for everything, and have a nice week. Ciao.